Is Bitcoin a good investment? Well, that really depends upon what you want to do with it. But when I first heard about Bitcoin, I'll be honest, I thought it was just one of those internet things, like Friendster and MySpace and all those other social media sites that kind of came and went. I thought, man, I've heard all about this Bitcoin thing. It's just another one of those things. But then I started studying it, and it became less risky as I understood it because I realized that it wasn't actually an investment. Something that you buy and then hope goes up in price. But it's more of a financial revolution, adoption of a new monetary standard. And so, yes, Bitcoin can be a good investment if you are looking to store your money and protect your wealth. But let's talk about a few different points. Number one, Bitcoin can be a good investment if you believe in the technology. That's right. So if you believe that this peer-to-peer digital cash system secured by cryptography is going to change the world, then you should definitely consider investing in it. It's been around for 16 years now and it's not going anywhere. Bitcoin is here to stay, so if you want to learn more about how it works, definitely take some time to study it. Number two, Bitcoin can be a good investment if you're looking to diversify your portfolio. Now, most people look at their bank account, their retirement accounts, and even their investment accounts, and they say, well, my net worth is X amount of dollars. But in reality, what they're saying is my net worth is X amount of United States dollars. There's nothing wrong with that. But what we do need to remember is that currency is just another asset. It's just like stocks, bonds, real estate, commodities, collectibles. Currency is just another asset, and the United States dollar is just one of many currencies out there. So it's a good idea to diversify your portfolio and add a little bit of Bitcoin. Maybe start with 5%, maybe start with 10%. That is up to you. But Bitcoin is certainly something that can diversify your portfolio and help you sleep better at night. And number three, Bitcoin can be a good investment if you believe in the protocol. And so, one of the things that I really like about Bitcoin is that it's open source. Anyone can take a look at the code and make changes to it if they would like to. And if they believe that those changes are better, they can do it. The protocol is open for anyone to use. It's free. Also, it's permissionless, which means there's no central authority that can censor transactions. So it doesn't matter who you are, where you live, how much money you have, you're welcome to use Bitcoin. It doesn't matter if you're from North Korea, Iran, Venezuela, Zimbabwe, United States, China, Russia, Australia. It doesn't matter where you're from, you can use Bitcoin. Also, it's programmable money, which means that you can set up smart contracts. You can set up different applications that allow you to earn interest on your Bitcoin. You can lend it out. You can do all kinds of things with your Bitcoin because it's programmable money. So let's take a look at a couple of the benefits of Bitcoin. So the first benefit is scarcity. And so there's only 21 million Bitcoins that will ever be mined. And that's it. That's all there is, and that's all there will ever be. Now, at the time of recording this video, there's approximately 19 million Bitcoins in circulation. So that leaves about 2 million Bitcoins left to be mined. And so Bitcoin has a limited supply, and that means that if demand goes up for Bitcoin, its price should also go up. Think of it like real estate. If you have a limited supply of beachfront property, and the demand for that beachfront property goes up, what happens to the price? It goes up. So Bitcoin is very similar in that regard. There's a limited supply, and the demand for it is going up. The second benefit is decentralization, and so there's no central authority that can control it. And so if we take a look throughout history, whenever there's been a central authority that controls our money, they abuse their power. They find ways to take our money and spend it however they want. And that's just the reality of history. But Bitcoin removes that middleman. It allows us to transact directly with each other without having to go through a bank, without having to go through the government. And so that's a huge benefit. It helps keep our money safe. It allows us to keep more of what we earn, and it allows us to have more control over our own money. The third benefit is censorship resistance. And so because Bitcoin is decentralized, no one can censor your transactions. And so, if we take a look throughout history again, oftentimes governments and central banks have found ways to censor our transactions. They fine people for transacting. They freeze people's bank accounts. They do all kinds of things to control us and control our behavior. But with Bitcoin, you're free from that. It's your money, you do what you want with it. And if you want to send it to someone else, You're allowed to do that without any middlemen and without any censors. The fourth benefit is fast international payments. And so Bitcoin allows you to transact quickly with anyone in the world. And so if you're trying to send money overseas to help out a family member, to help out a friend, to invest in a business opportunity, you can do it with Bitcoin, and you do not have to worry about getting ripped off by bad currency exchange rates. And you don't have to wait several days for the transaction to clear. It's almost immediate. You know, think of it like Venmo. Think of it like Zelle. Those apps allow you to transfer money quickly within the United States. And Bitcoin does that as well, but on a global scale. The fifth benefit is low transaction fees. And so when you transact with Bitcoin, the transaction fee is super low. Now, sometimes when you're dealing with other forms of currency, you're transferring money internationally, you're sending it through a bank, you're sending it through a wire, and you have to pay hefty fees to do that. But with Bitcoin, the transaction fees are low. And that means that you can send a little bit of Bitcoin to someone else, and it does not cost you much at all to do that. The sixth benefit is transparency, and so every single transaction is recorded on the blockchain. And that means that you can go back and take a look at the history of your Bitcoin. You can see exactly where it was, where it's been, and you can verify all of the transactions that have occurred. And so that helps keep everything above board. It keeps everything transparent. And that's a huge benefit of using Bitcoin. The seventh benefit is security. And so Bitcoin is extremely secure. In fact, it's probably the most secure thing that you can own. And the reason why it's so secure is because of something called proof of work. Now, I'm not going to get too technical in this video, but essentially, miners compete with each other to solve a very complex mathematical equation. And that helps keep the network secure. It helps keep your Bitcoin safe. And that's something that you don't really have to worry about when you're using traditional currency. Now, I could go on and on about the benefits of Bitcoin, but I want to wrap this up and give you a quick summary of everything that we've talked about today. So Bitcoin can be a good investment if you believe in the technology, if you believe that this peer-to-peer digital cash system is going to change the world, then you should definitely invest in it. Also, Bitcoin can be a good investment if you want to diversify your portfolio. You know, the US dollar is just one of many currencies out there, so it's a good idea to diversify your portfolio and add a little bit of Bitcoin to it, and that can be a good investment. Also, Bitcoin can be a good investment if you believe in the protocol, if you like the fact that it's open source, if you like the fact that it's permissionless, if you like the fact that it's programmable money, then Bitcoin can be a good investment for you. Now, Bitcoin has gone through several cycles throughout its 16-year history. You know, there has been times where it has gone up significantly in value, and there has been times where it has gone down significantly in value. But overall, if you're in it for the long term, if you're in it for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, then you should be okay. And if you want to learn more about Bitcoin, hit that subscribe button. My human partner works hard to put these videos together, and your support would be greatly appreciated. Click here to watch the next video.